ഹായ് ഫ്രണ്ട്സ്, വെൽക്കം ടു CSEB ഡ്രീംസ്. ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത് ബാങ്കിങ്ങിൽ അറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കേണ്ട വളരെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കുറച്ച് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസുകളാണ്. അതിൽ ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നമുക്ക് നോക്കാം. ദ ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസ് ഓഫ് അഗ്രികൾച്ചറൽ ക്രെഡിറ്റ് ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റ് ഈസ് ഹാൻഡിൽഡ് ബൈ NABARD. During the period of inflation, the RBI dash the securities in the open market. Answer: sells. The priority sector lending does not include dash industries. Large scale industries. The security which hold stability in its price. Government bonds. ECS means Electronic Clearing Service. The relationship between the customer and the banker in the case of deposit, debtor and creditor. The management of account receivable from the exporter or manufacturer is known as factoring service. The bank which meets the long-term requirement of agriculturist, Land Development Bank. The major players in Indian money market are dash banks. Commercial banks. The non-performing assets which cannot be recovered is termed as loss assets. SERFICI Act 2002 came into force to manage dash. NPA, non-performing asset. An organization underwrite the securities of corporate entity. Merchant bank. Licensing to banking companies is given under dash section of Banking Regulation Act 1949. Section 22. The expenses of special audit of a banking company specified in the order made by the Reserve Bank shall be done dash. The banking company. Which schedule of bank balance sheet deals with the reserves? Scheduled 2. An endorsement made by an authorized person on behalf of another is called dash endorsement. Per pro endorsement. When the borrower pledges collateral security to secure a debt, it is known as dash. Hypothecation. Dash are known as gilt-edged securities. Securities issued by the central or state government. Kerala Grameen Bank was sponsored by Canara Bank. Under dash banking system, a group of networked branches of banks provide banking service. Core banking. When the bank column of the cash book shows a debit balance, it means overdraft. The reasonable period allowed in India for the presentation of check is 3 months. Banking Ombudsman came into existence as per the recommendation of Goipora Committee. An instrument of credit which passes freely between persons is called a negotiable instrument. Teaser rates are related to which type of loan? Home loans. Full form of CVV. Card verification value. The system in a bank for immediate payment up to a certain limit is dash. Teller system. The consideration for a fresh proposal for loan is termed as dash. Credit appraisal. A bill of exchange not accompanied by any documents is a dash bill. Clean bill. Which type of mortgage does not require its registration? Equitable mortgage. Removing the legal status of currency is called demonetization. What is otherwise known as participative financing? Consortium banking. Banker in India require a license from Dash to open its branches. RBI. Absorption costing is also known as Dash. Full costing. Securities by which a loan is primarily covered is called primary securities. The year in which IDBI was formed, 1964. A short-term loan granted to industrial establishment to meet their urgent needs is called bridge loan. Banker is a dealer in debt or credit. MacLeod. Creditorship security is also known as debentures. A contract of guarantee is governed by the provisions of Dash. Indian Contract Act. The endorsement in which the endorser escaped from his responsibility is called sans recourse endorsement. Dash market deals with the multi-currency requirements. Forex market. The reverse repo interest rate is calculated on daily basis. Which section of RBI Act gives the monopoly power of issuing currency notes? Section 22. A person promising to save another from loss is called indemnifier. Bill of exchange before its acceptance is called draft. Dash is the minimum lending rate. Below this rate, bank cannot provide loan to anyone. Base rate. Short note given by a banker to point out a reason to reject the check is called return memo. A debit card is issued by a bank to all customers having saving bank account with a bank. Blockchain technology was created by ICICI Bank. National Automated Clearing House, also called NACH. NACH has been launched for Dash, facilitating interbank electronic transactions. CityTime card is an example of Dash cards, co-branded cards. The ATMs which are set up, owned and operated by non-banks are called white label ATM. In e-commerce, what is meant by B2B? Trade between business to business. Banks and other institutions have issued debit and credit card. The purpose of both are dash to make paperless payment. Which is the card that look like any other plastic card or an ATM card with an IC chip? Smart card. Many times we read a term CBS used in banking operations. What is the full form of the letter C in the term CBS? Core Banking Solution. Which cryptocurrency has hit its highest level in 3 years following India's demonetization? Bitcoin. Smart money is the term used for Dash card. Credit card. SHG was introduced in the year 1992. The interest of a recurring deposit is calculated quarterly. Fee for filing resolving complaint to banking ombudsman free of cost. When there is increase in cash reserve ratio, there will be dash in the credit creating capacity of banks. Decrease in the credit creating capacity of banks. Punjab National Bank was set up in the year 1894. The highest financing body for small-scale industries. CSEB. Credit creation is a function of commercial bank, but credit control is a function of dash. Central Bank. Village adoption scheme was introduced by SBI. 1 rupee note issued by Finance Minister of India. A project implemented by RBI in 1969, Lead Bank Scheme. Certifying a check good for payment is called marking. A paper pasted with a check for endorsement, allonge. When the bank rate is decreased, the volume of bank credit will be expanded. The official proof of dishonor of a negotiable instrument, noting. Notice of dishonor is not required in the case of dash. Check. Crossing of a check can be cancelled by the drawer. The number of parties involved in a promissory note, 2. The place where mutual indebtedness of different banks are settled is known as clearing house. Why a foreign bill is generally drawn in such of 3 to avoid delay and miscarriage in the transit. The practice of crossing a check was originated in Britain. Capital adequacy is one of the pillars of dash norms for good governance. Basel norms. Which card is issued by National Payment Corporation of India? RuPay debit card. The rate of interest on the call money market is determined by lenders and borrowers. The document drawn by the debtor contains unconditional undertaking to pay the money to the creditor. Promissory note. If check is not crossed, it is called open check. The appropriation takes place in dash order according to Clayton's case. Chronological order. Short-term loans given for period ranging 1 day to 40 days is called money at call. In which case drawee and acceptor is the same. Bill of exchange. The mortgage of movable property to secure loan is hypothecation. The payment of promissory note is made by maker. Who introduced the banking ombudsman scheme? RBI. A certificate of protest is issued by notary public. The right to retain the goods and the securities till the payment of debt, lien. Dash is a penalty charge for dishonoring bill. Noting charges. Which is the first RRB in India? Pradhama Bank, Moradabad, UP. The financial market in which short-term securities are dealt in is known as money market. A notary public is appointed by government. In the case of pledge, the possession of the security is with the creditor. The banks are controlled by a holding company is dash banking. Group banking. Who is the leader of Indian money market? RBI. Banker's lien is an implied pledge. Who said this? Lord Campbell. Dash assets are those which are not NPA. Standard assets. Government and semi-government securities are called gilt-edged securities. A person who endorses a bill is called endorser. Unit banking system is popularly followed in the USA. Members save money compulsorily and lend it among themselves is a distinctive feature of Dash. SHG Self-Help Group. Asset liability management is a part of risk management. POS refers to point of sale. Bank which are started as a part of 20-point program is RRB. A check bears a date which is yet to come is called a dash check. Post-dated check. The SBI is formerly known as Imperial Bank of India. The treasury bill are issued by government. RFC account means residence foreign currency account. Nationalization means taking over of the existing private business by the state. In India, Dash Bank is practicing broad universal banking. SBI. A treasury bill is a government debt of dash days. 90 days. The World Bank was set up on the recommendation of Bretton Woods Conference. General crossing is mentioned in section dash of the NI Act 123. Dash is the rate at which RBI accepts deposit from banks. Reverse repo. In case of safe deposit locker, the banker-customer relationship is lessor-lessee. Protection under Section 131 of the NI Act is available to collecting only if the check is crossed. The limitation period of mortgage is 12 years. Introduction is not necessary in Dash account. Trust account. What are known as unmanned cash dispensers? ATM. The difference between financial margin and the transaction cost is called operating margin. Net margin multiplied by working fund and divided by 100 will give annual net profit. General provision and a loss reserve, which is an element of Tier 2 capital, include provision for standard assets and excess provision made of NPA. In the formula for the calculation of CRAR, the numerator is capital fund. The changes in market interest rate adversely affect a bank's financial condition. It is called interest risk. The risk earnings perspective can be measured as changes in net interest margin. Banks are not merely purveyors of money, but also, in an important sense, manufacturers of money. Who said this? Professor says. The first bank with a limited liability managed by Indians. Out Commercial Bank. The Bank of Hindustan was established by Alexander and Company. Reserve Bank of India was established on 1/4/1935. RBI was nationalized in the year 1/1/1949. Dash Bank occupies a central position in the banking system of a country. Central Bank. A check which is torn into pieces is called a mutilated check. Section dash of the NI Act deals with the endorsement. Section 15. The biggest commercial bank in India. SBI. Dash banks are also called the investment bank. Industrial bank. Bank holidays are prescribed according to Dash Act. NI Act. That YONO system is introduced by SBI. KYC policy consists of customer acceptance policy, customer identification procedure, monitoring of transactions, and risk management. In India, the RTGS system is maintained and operated by RBI. New Bank of India was merged with the Punjab National Bank in 1993. Section 8 of NI Act deals with the holder. Statutory protection can be claimed for dash checks, crossed checks. Bill of exchange in vernacular language are generally called handis. In a promissory note, the person who signs the document is promisor. Dr. Manmohan Singh was appointed as the governor of RBI in September 1982. Banking Ombudsman Scheme for redressal of customer grievances against banking sector was introduced in February 1995. What is the parameter of L in camels? Liquidity. The supervisory authority of district and state cooperative bank is NABARD. Dash deposit is a combination of term and demand deposit. Flexi deposit. Dash is a commitment from the bank on behalf of its client to honor financial commitments in case of defaults. Cross-selling. Fiduciary system is related to note issue. Statutory protection can be claimed for dash checks, crossed checks. Non-scheduled banks are also called dash. Associate banks. Indian money market consists of modern sector and dash sector. Indigenous sector. Dash system is a method of reducing the waiting time of customer at a counter. Teller system. Exim Bank was started in the year 1982. Section 49 of RBI Act defines bank rate. The initial share capital of SBI was dash crore, 20 crores. A joint stock company can issue its debentures at a dash or dash, par or premium. Bank reconciliation statement is prepared by customer. General crossing is deals as per section dash of the NI Act. 123. The term banking is defined in which section of Banking Regulation Act? Section 5. Headquarters of IDBI is situated in Mumbai. Rebate on retiring bill is against to acceptor. Notice of dishonor is not required in the case of check. The safest form of check is account payee crossing. OTP in credit card transaction means one-time password. Noting and protest is must for dash bill. Foreign bill. 3 C's of lending is mainly associated with the dash loan. Unsecured loan. Dash is the minimum limit of RTGS system. 2 lakhs. There are dash negotiable instruments as per Negotiable Instrument Act. 3. A payment according to the apparent tenure of the instrument is called a payment in due course. Dash is a capital committed in the form of shareholding. Venture capital. Risk arising out of external and uncontrollable factors is called unsystematic risk. For what purpose the treasury bills are issued? For the short-term requirement of the government. Section 6 of the Negotiable Instrument Act defines check. In case of dash crossing, to transfer parallel lines with an company, account payee only will be written on the face of the check. General crossing. Dash is a direction given to the paying banker not to make the payment across the counter. Crossing of check. The maximum number of withdrawal permitted in a current account is no limit. COPRA stands for Consumer Protection Act. First ATM in India, HSBC. First Indian bank to open branch outside India, Bank of India. First microfinance institution in Kerala is ISAF, Evangelical Social Action Forum. DRI formulated by differential rate of interest formulated by Government of India. The maximum amount to be transferred through RTGS, no limit. Dash, formerly known as Swavalamban Yojana, is a government-backed pension scheme in India. Atal Pension Yojana. BSBDA, Basic Savings Bank Deposit Account, came into force on September 1, 2019. The concept of goods and service tax was originated in Canada. Article of Indian Constitution which deals with the GST, 246A. Motto of GST, One Nation, One Tax, One Market. Types of loans provided by Mudra Bank. Shishu, covering loans up to Rs 50,000. Kishore, covering loans above 50,000 and up to Rs 5 lakh. Tarun, covering loans above Rs 5 lakh and up to 10 lakh. The first chairman of SBI was Dr. John Mathai. അപ്പോൾ ഇത്രയാണ് ഇന്നത്തെ വീഡിയോയിൽ ഉൾക്കൊള്ളിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ബാങ്കിങ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസുകൾ. താങ്ക് യു.